Out here at the range, this is sort of my first range vlog that I'm doing. The reason why I want to start doing a range vlog is to kind of document what I do at the range as far as what I shoot and types of, I guess, drills I'm doing. I don't come to the range often like I used to back in the 2005 to 2010 years, because that's when I was really heavily competing NRA high power rifle, service rifle. And so right now in the recent years, I don't come to the range as often as I used to. Like back then I used to come to the range like once or twice a week, but now I'm more like once or twice a month, if that. And so since my range is just so infrequent, I figure I'll start vlogging a little bit here so I can sort of document what I do, kind of keep track of what I'm doing, because it feels like when I come to the range, I just come here, dump 200 or 300 rounds, and I leave, and it feels like I don't really accomplish much. So hopefully I'm going to try to start documenting a little bit for myself and then for anyone else who's interested, and start setting some, I guess, goals and whatnot to better my shooting as far as non-NRA service rifle and just more general purpose marksmanship shooting and self-defense shooting. Anyway, here today I'm just shooting the AR-15, my 16-inch carbine, and then my, 16-inch mid-length rather, and I'm shooting my Glock 17, which I put new sights on it. Basically, I had put on the factory slide back on here because I used to run an RMR milled slide. It was a TSD Combat Systems, but I got rid of that because I dumped my RMR after a year because I was having a lot of problems with it. A whole other story. Basically, I put the factory slide back on and I replaced the factory sights with Vickers sights, which are made by Wilson Combat. So I just need to zero the rear sight because the wind dish might be off. So we're going to do that today, and that's pretty much it. Pretty much have these sights zeroed in now as far as the windage is concerned. Didn't have to do much adjustment, just a slightly went right from where I had it set when I installed it at home in my garage. So now I can lock down these set screws and Loctite them, and they should be set pretty much for the duration of these sights. One little note is these set screws pretty much almost backed out because I didn't really tighten them down, so got to keep that in mind when you install sights like these and you're still zeroing them in. You obviously don't want to lock them down, but at the same time you need to have them loose enough so that you can still move the sight back and forth as you need to while I'm zeroing it. But now they're almost backed out, so I could have lost these set screws. So that's something to keep in mind when you're zeroing your sights. Make sure you don't lose your set screws. Probably good idea just take them out first and then zero. But anyway, I still have them, but I'm going to Loctite these when I get home after I clean the gun, and then they'll be good to go. So basically what you see behind me, I got 3 sets of IPSC targets and then 2 steel targets. Actually one of them I don't shoot rifle, it's the only target, but I got another steel target that I use for rifle at short range because that thing is beat to hell. But anyway, right now I'm just basically doing some transition drills, shooting short range to less than short range. So, going from like immediate CQB 5-10 yards to 50 yards roughly. But as you can see, I'm using a shot timer. If you don't have a shot timer, they're pretty handy. They're not just for competition use. You see them a lot in action pistol, IDPA, IPSC, USPSA, 3-gun. Basically, it's just to time you throughout each shot that you take during a stage of fire. But they're great training aids as far as if you're at the range, you're trying to just drill your draw times and whatnot. You can see how fast you are in response to the beep. And you can also time your transition between your last shot and a reload and your next shot So it's a great training aid. A lot of people say, oh, it's bullshit, you know, you don't really gain much by timing yourself in these kind of situations, these kind of drills. I think it's false. I mean, you need to be able to at least have some indicator or at least some way to gauge how fast you respond to a trigger event. So the beep or the shot timer being this threat event or a threat indicator, how fast can you react to that threat indicator? So I mean, it's a good training aid, and they're not that not that expensive, fairly. I mean, you can get them. I think they're as low as 80. Go higher up to like $150, $200 if you want to get like a high-end one. But you have apps for your phone as well. But I've never really had I haven't had much luck with those. So I just use a Pocket Pro 2 by Competition Electronics. These are pretty good. Runs off a 9-volt battery, and I like it. So it's a good training aid if you're kind of do self-defense stuff, and gives you a good way to just sort of gauge yourself, evaluate yourself, and then see if you can improve on your times. Just to show you what exactly is not happening on the shot timer, I was doing these 3-shot drills at roughly 50 yards on a 45% size IPSC target, which means that steel target out there is 45% the size of a regular IPSC target. Anyway, I have 3-shot drills from rest, so bringing the rifle from rest and getting on target and firing 3 rounds as fast as I can and hitting. So basically, the total time is 2.29 seconds for 3 shots. And from here, it says from the first shot, from rest to the first shot is 1.47 seconds. Then 0.38 seconds later is my second shot, and 0.44 seconds later is my third shot. So 3 shots total, 2.29 seconds. But one of the key things to look at is, one, how fast did it take me to get from rest to the first shot? That was 1.49 seconds, which is kind of slow. And then my split times, 0.38, 0.44, it's kind of slow compared to better shooters. But the whole goal of this is to find out where I'm at and then where I'm starting to fail. And if I push myself beyond this, I'm going to start missing. So basically my goal is trying to get my from rest to hit time on the first shot to be around 1 second or less at 50 yards. And hopefully my split times will go down to about 0.2 seconds or 0.2 of a second. So that's exactly how you use a shot timer. It's basically get an evaluation of yourself, see where you're at, and then see if you can push yourself beyond that point where you're starting to fail, and then turn that failure point into a success point as far as being able to shoot that fast and then making those hits at the same time. So basically, you don't want to just keep shooting and missing as fast as you can. I can shoot faster than this, but I'll be missing constantly. Obviously, I'm going to shoot as fast as I can till I start to miss, and then when I'm at that point, just try to overcome that and start making those shots at that exact speed. Just a little quick close-up of pretty much this 45% IPSC steel target. It's AR-500 steel. It's only about a 3/8 of an inch, I think. But as you can see here, I only use this for rifle. It's beat to all hell right now. It's pitted up really bad, and it's actually starting to crack right here where I made impacts. You can see there's edge damage on the sides or on the edges. But pretty much I just use this rifle, and if I break this or I crack it or whenever I penetrate it eventually, I don't really care. It only cost me about $40 and it's lasted me for almost a year and a half now. So I mean, it's living, it's surviving, and it's doing what it needs to do as far as being a target. I mean, targets don't last forever, obviously, so I'm getting my money's worth out of this. So that's pretty much this. I got this from SoCal Targets, and I actually have a review of this, or a little write-up on the SoCal Targets steel targets on my website, okfj.net. So check that out. So it's roughly 08:46 Pacific time. About to get out of the range, just trying to collect all my brass off the ground, obviously, and then get my targets cleaned up. There's a lot of people waiting for bays because half the bays are being used right now for competition, an action pistol match at West End Gun Club, which is where I'm at. So there's a lot of people waiting around. I figure I'm pretty much done. I got here at about 6 o'clock, 0600, and so I try to get all my stuff done early in the morning just because I want to get in and out and do all my shooting and get out of here. Unless I'm really trying to, just trying to lag and I'm doing a lot of stuff. But today I just mentioned, wanted to just get my rear sight on that Glock 17 fixed up and to just do a little practice with the AR. Speaking of the Glock 17, there's one thing I've neglected to note is that, it's actually on my hip, I have I actually modified, I did a write-up on this, but I modified the grip. As you can see here, this is a Gen 3 Glock 17, and I modified the front strap. I took off the finger grooves, filed down all the textured, and then put in some grip tape. So that's actually pretty comfortable for me right now, and I'm liking it. I don't know if I want to do a full-on grip reduction on the back end and then recontour the whole thing and then have it done stippled. Stippling is probably the one thing I might want to do, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet. I like the way it feels right now, and right now I don't think I'm losing too much grip as it is. So I'm gonna just work with this G17 as it is and see how it runs in this configuration. But again, I'm gonna get out of here. People are waiting, and probably get something to eat since I haven't eaten since last night. Obviously, I woke up early in the morning and just left the house to go to the range. So basically, for anyone who's wondering where I'm at, West End Gun Club I mentioned before, but this is a private range I'm leaving right now. I've just left the back private ranges, and then this is like kind of the public quasi open firing line. Technically this is a members only range, and in order to shoot here you have to be a member, but on the weekends they allow limited members access on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they have limited access to this range, but they can't use the private ranges in the back. So West End Gun Club is a members only range. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they allow limited membership to use that 100-yard range, which is just an open firing line. And the back ranges are always reserved for like full members of the club. So you have 24/7 access, 365 days a year, and this is pretty much the best range in the Inland Empire, California. This is which I shoot here. Right now there's matches going on, and for the most part, they use up the back ranges a lot, but today, Saturday, is an action pistol match by Cameron Wong. He runs that match. He's run it for the past several years, but they only use half the ranges, so I was able to use one of the other bays in the other half to do my shooting. As far as the range vlog is concerned, hopefully this isn't too boring. Probably is, but again, I'm kind of just doing it as an exercise and an experiment for myself as far as part of my range trip. I mean, I bring a lot of crap to the range already, and I always bring my cameras to the range, simply because I'm always recording video and I like to take photos, like stock photos at the range. So it's just, I guess vlogging is just one little extra thing to do. It's just setting up the shots, which is gonna be a pain in the ass. So hopefully this goes well. One thing I forgot to bring today was my key mod mount for my GoPro to put up to my KMR, my handguard. So I couldn't run my GoPro on my rifle today, and it's kind of stupid, but whatever. But the GoPro is actually on the side of the car right now, on the side of my truck, and I have it on a suction cup mount, and it's the first time I used it. So I'm trying to get some footage driving to and from the range, to hopefully incorporate in the vlog. But it is what it is. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully my video skills isn't crap, is total crap, but hopefully I got some footage in here that is watchable. And then that's pretty much the end of my first range vlog. It's February 13th 2016, Saturday.